Recording in progress. Good evening. Welcome to the City Council meeting for February 10th. Madam Clerk, will you please call roll?
Councilmember Dillard.
Here.
Councilmember Lothian.
Here.
Councilmember Suzuki.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cazares. Mayor Rapistathis.
Here, we begin every meeting with a flag salute and an invocation flag salute, and tonight will be Councilmember Dillard. Councilmember Dillard.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. As recognizing Black History Month in February, I thought it would be fitting to read about one of the most prolific poets in Black history, James Baldwin, one of the most influential American writers and thinkers of the 20th century. James Arthur Baldwin, born August 2nd, 1924, and passing on December 1, 1987, was an American novelist, essayist, playwright, poet, and civil rights activist whose work examined race, sexuality, and identity in the United States. Born in Harlem, New York, he became one of the most powerful voices on social justice and human experience in the post-World War II era. Baldwin's writing expands fiction, essays, plays, and poems. Baldwin didn't just write about racism and inequality, he lived it, engaging directly with the civil rights movement. He traveled throughout the American South, met and worked with leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., and participated in marches such as Selma to Montgomery in 1965. His essays and speeches became essential texts in the struggle for civil rights and human dignity. James Baldwin's work has had a profound and lasting influence on literature, race discourse, and civil rights thought. His writing continues to be widely studied and remains relevant to the discussions about social justice today. After his death in 1987 in St. Paul de Vence, France, Baldwin's influence only grew, inspiring later generations of writers, thinkers, and activists, and leading to renowned interest in his life and work through books, films, and public dialogues. That is just a little bit about James Baldwin. Shall we stand for Pledge of Allegiance? Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City manager comments.
I have none.
Community bulletin reports. I'll start with Councilmember Dillard.
Yes, I have one. The Year of the Horse. Join us Monday, February the 16th at 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. for our third annual Lunar New Year celebration. This is taking place at the Joan Kroc Center, just down the road, and it's going to cover stunning cultural performances, family-friendly crafts and games, anime trivia competition, things to buy, bring cash, they say, New Year prayer and wish wall, church at the Kroc, and passport around the world for each vendor, Laos, Thailand, Japan, China, and Vietnam. Did I say that wrong? Laos. Okay. But anyway, I hope that you will be able to attend. It should be fun. If you need more information, you can check with me after City Council. I'm happy to pass this flyer along. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilmember Lothian.
Mr. Mayor, for the first time in my city council career, I do not have one.
Okay. Councilmember Suzuki.
I have nothing.
I just have a few here they've given me to read. La Mesa Police Department will be holding a DUI checkpoint this Friday, February 13th, between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. at an undisclosed location within the city limits. Please consider ordering a ride-share service or a designated driver. We're encouraging sober driving. Please plan ahead. Remember, some prescriptions and over-the-counter medications can interfere with your driving too. Kickoff litter-free La Mesa's fourth year of a community cleanup from Briarcrest Park to neighborhoods along Murray Drive. The event is on Saturday, February 21st from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Trash pickers and buckets will be provided. Just bring comfortable clothes, closed-toed shoes, and sunscreen. Swap your gently used clothes, accessories, shoes during our free clothing swap event on Saturday, February 28th at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Donations must be free of odors, stains, or rips. This event will be held at the La Mesa Library on the 28th. Join us for a home energy fair happening on Saturday, March 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the La Mesa Library. You learn where energy comes from, tips to reduce home energy use, and ways to access programs that lower utility costs. And lastly, MTS wants to hear from people who live and work visit La Mesa about their experience with the bus trolley. Take a 3-minute survey to share your feedback and be entered to win one of 3 $25 gift cards. Councilmember Dillard is excluded because she serves on the board. I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. But anyways, I know that she's been promoting that as well. So thank you for that. And please take that survey. Next are additions or deletions by staff. Is there anything you want to pull? Sorry, that's okay.
Vice Mayor Cazares is out today, and she and I had a council-initiated item, and we need to table it. And that
Okay.
would be council-initiated 11.1, 11.2. Those were the advocacy letters requesting legislative action regarding the sober living, et cetera.
Okay, so we will table that to the next.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are presentations. We welcome our city treasurer, Mr. Strabone. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being here, sir.
I pretend. There's nothing in here. It's just empty. Just a pen. Right. Good evening to staff, the mayor, the vice mayor, the council, everyone joining us here in chambers and watching at home. My name is Matt Strabone. I am the city treasurer of La Mesa, and what follows is my report for the quarter ending December 31st, 2025. Next slide, please. I will start, as I always do, with a quick recitation of the principles underlying the city's investment policy. They are safety, liquidity, and earnings. Safety, meaning we seek to safeguard the principle of our invested funds by investing in only safe assets. Liquidity, meaning that we have enough cash to meet the needs of the city at all times. And finally, earnings. Once the first two principles are met, I go into the marketplace and purchase assets that seek to achieve the maximum yield possible. Next slide, please. Portfolio activity for this past quarter was quiet. We had 2 agencies called at a cumulative rate of 4.25%, which meant that $2 million returned to us. I think business will pick up in this current quarter, Q1 of 26. We've had about a year's worth of quiet quarters in a row, but they've been quite lucrative for us. We made just a little bit over $500,000 in Q4. Next slide, please. Portfolio profile, as you could see, our portfolio is quite liquid and weighted towards fairly soon maturity assets. Done that on purpose because of the relative uncertainty in the marketplace, which I think is starting to smooth out. I think will continue to smooth out through the appointment of the next chair of the Federal Reserve. I have purposefully, over the last 12 months or so, brought about $20 million after this coming month, $20 million of maturing assets back into our flexible account. I've been waiting to deploy it to see how the market and frankly the world has shaken out. I think we are going to start deploying that money again over the coming months. Next slide, please. Pro forma earnings, which is just an estimate of what would happen if the last quarter was projected out over 12 months. As you could see, we would earn about $2.4 million with a cumulative rate of 3.28%. Next slide, please. Now, the important part, over the calendar year 2025, and for the third year running, we earned the most money ever in the entire history of La Mesa. Its illustrious history, we earned nearly $2.9 million. Pretty good. 3 straight years of records. Can't promise we're going to do it again, but so far, so good. We'll try our best. Next slide, please. Finally, before I get to final thoughts, I'm required to tell you by law that the city's investment portfolio complies with the City of La Mesa's investment policy, as well as the relevant sections of the California Government Code that concern the safety and liquidity in the investment of public funds. Investment strategies are based on budgetary and liquidity considerations and interest rate projections, and have been collaboratively determined by myself, the Director of Finance, and the City Manager. Next slide, please. Final thoughts. Yeah, I mean, we have set so many records that it's old hat when I announce an annual record here, which is good. I think that things are quieting down. The market for the kind of assets that we buy is generally all based on the treasury rate for 5 years or fewer. In years past, we have been able to point to the federal payments rate and say roughly treasuries are going to be there. We are not as sure that that's true anymore because of certain macroeconomic conditions. There are a number of countries around the world that are seeking to get out from under their treasury holdings. I'm not sure what impact this is going to have on treasury rates. I think they will hew roughly towards the federal rate that is set by the Federal Reserve, but I don't know if that rate will go up. I think the treasury rate is going to end up being a few basis points higher than that going forward. That being said, it is the stated wish of the administration to bring rates down. If rates do come down, the treasury rates will also come down, and we will enter the marketplace before that happens and try to buy up what we can to lock in the rates that we can. But on the other hand, who knows? I mean, a lot of unprecedented things have happened in the fixed asset marketplace over the last 12 months, and that could continue. I am going to do the best I can. I would be derelict in not saying this next part. I have struggled with whether I was going to say it or not. La Mesa is a wonderful place. There is a good go-along, get-along vibe to a lot of what we do here. But over my 3 years, and before I say this, I'll just say that I hope that 3 straight years of investment records has earned me some capital to say what I think about these matters in particular. I am not so sure this city needs an elected treasurer. Surprising as that may sound, a few years ago, this city also had an elected clerk. And I think the council wisely decided that they were going to professionalize that operation, and now we have an appointed clerk, and it's worked out pretty well. When we have an elected city treasurer, given the makeup of La Mesa's finance department as it stands, there is always going to be tension between the city treasurer and the director of finance. That is what I've learned. I did not have a good relationship with Tammy Royales. I had a good relationship with the interim director, John Herrera. I have my doubts about my relationship going forward with the new finance director. And that's not a knock on her character or anything. I just think there is an inherent tension between what my elected mandate is to do and what her responsibilities are. I think that will always lead to one of two outcomes. Either the elected city treasurer is going to follow a very basic ladder strategy, which you don't need an elected city treasurer to do, or the city treasurer who has ideas of their own, even if they have a proven record of success, is going to come into conflict with what the finance director thinks is appropriate. Now, especially if the finance director is a CPA, let's say. They are just different incentives, let's say. And to that end, I say this not to empire build or ask for more authority or ask for more money or anything. It just might be wise to not elect this office anymore and remove some of that tension. Now, I don't think the director of finance should be the one in charge of the investments either. I do think that you should perhaps consider appointing someone or hiring an outside firm to handle this on a more full-time basis who can craft a better strategy in concert with the finance department and the city manager. But yeah, I don't know. The 3 years I've spent doing this, it has seemed to me that there is always going to be conflict if the city treasurer is truly trying to do the best that they can for this city, rather than just, again, follow a ladder blindly, which a machine could do. And you don't need that for city treasurer for that. So I'm sure that will surprise all of you. I do like being city treasurer. I would not seek the appointment if you do make an appointed position. Don't misunderstand me. But I do think there isn't a whole lot of point to this if this is how it's going to be. I think it's not that hard for you to find someone who can do a credible job and will do it with a good relationship with the finance department. I just don't know if electing someone is the way to go going forward. The portfolio it vacillates between $75 million and $90 million anyway. I get paid $16,000 a year to do this. I obviously have a full-time job on the side. It's a lot of money. I don't think the tension and the amount of time and care that an elected city treasurer could give to this are commensurate with the scope of the task before them. So just something to consider. I mean, my term is up in 9 months. That's plenty of time to sort this out. But that is my honest opinion, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't share it with the council. And with that, I will take any questions you may have.
Yes.
The first thing I want to say is, Mr. Strabone, thank you for your work, because I know that you're very modest in what you've done and how you accomplished it, and I appreciate that, especially working in a position where it seems like what you've just described is it can result in conflict, and so I appreciate that. I am concerned about what you just said, just because naturally it would be changing the nature of a position. I would like to hear more about this. And so I don't know how to go about researching the position, because I don't know how, I really, full disclosure, I don't know how a city treasurer works until I came. I knew it was an elected position. And when you give us your reports, I'm always, it's fantastical to me, because I am not a money person in terms of numbers and everything. But on the other hand, I'm concerned because I feel like a check and balance system may be important to the running of the city versus having, I wouldn't want an outside firm personally. I would not want that. So that concerns me, but then maybe that's for the best. I don't know if we would want the city to do research about this or find out about this. I don't know. I like you, Mr. Strabone, and I like your reports. So I appreciate your work, and I guess I'm just a little astounded by what you've told us.
That is fair, and I thank you for the kind words, Councilmember. I will say you are absolutely free to ignore me. You are under no obligation to listen to me when I suggest this. And I don't want to make it sound like there is some disaster waiting to happen here. There isn't. That would be a gross overstatement of the situation. I simply think that, I'll sketch out exactly kind of an example of what I'm talking about. So I mentioned earlier, I've over the last 12 months, purposefully have been put $20 million back into our flexible account, which earns a decent rate of return right now. I perceived an arbitrage opportunity in doing so, and I think the results have spoken for themselves. But I did that with the understanding that $20 million would be available later for redeployment. I am not aware of any new unplanned capital expenditure that was not budgeted for among the city, but I did not get the level of immediate cooperation that I was hoping for when I set that out. And this used to happen with the previous permanent finance director quite a bit. There would be discussions about, well, this money, we have to go back in, have to go back out, and I would not understand why we weren't projecting these figures out. And, I also think that if you really step back and take a look at how La Mesa over time has, I don't want to say handcuffed the role, but to a certain extent handcuffed the role. The investment requirements in this city are more stringent than the state. The city treasurer has a 3-person committee that the city treasurer nominally chairs, but that can outvote the city treasurer on certain things. Those other 2 people are staff and have to work together every single day. It's asking a lot for the city treasurer to overcome that relationship, right? Now, I absolutely understand why these things were put into place. Electing someone to manage this fund in a city of only 60,000 people, you are rolling the dice. Maybe you got lucky with me, maybe not. That's not for me to say. But you may not always. So I understand why the safeguards are in there, but the safeguards lead to certain outcomes, which are okay until there is more tension between the city treasurer and the staff around what should be done with the money that was set aside for the investments. And at that point, it's like, why do we even have a city treasurer? So that is all I'm saying. Again, you are free to ignore that piece of advice that I've given you. If so, that's fine. I will continue doing what I do. No worries.
Councilmember Dillard?
Well, first of all, Matt, thank you for the presentation. I've been with you the whole entire time that you've been with us. And I have come to not just admire your performance, but trust it. And I don't think that anyone doubts your capabilities, and I think that 3 years is more than enough time to prove yourself, and you've definitely done that. I don't know what the resolution is here. Since you brought it to us like this, I would like more understanding or discussion about if there's even a possibility that we could work this out, because I don't want you to feel like you're getting pushed back and making decisions that are coming into conflict. So, Mayor, I would.
This is not on the agenda, so
Oh.
I'm letting it go, but
Oh.
all of this discussion we've just had, we're not really allowed to have it.
Oh.
So, sorry. It's something you can
Wow.
talk privately to the city treasurer about, or you can
Okay.
talk to the city manager, but this isn't on the agenda, so I didn't want to shut anybody down, but we weren't allowed to do any of this, so, yeah.
It is out of left field.
Yeah, well, it's just not on the agenda, it's just the treasurer's report, and no disrespect to our treasurer, but, so it's not on the agenda, so we can't have this conversation, I'm sorry.
I thank the council member for her kind words.
Yes.
And I'll just add one more time, no one currently on staff is doing anything wrong. I simply think that there is an inherent tension in the prerogatives and incentives of the positions as they are arrayed right now. That's all. I'm not saying anyone did anything wrong. They have not. Just don't get that twisted. I'm simply observing a pressure point that I don't think is ever going to go away. That's all.
Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Next are public comments, general comments on the agenda. First is Diane Osterling, followed by Vaughn Rios. Welcome.
Thanks. I am not as prepared as I usually would be, but felt compelled to come again. And I'm going to admit part of that is because when I go to church, they remind us that we should speak up for other people. And that's really drives to my heart. And as well as I went to the Banksy exhibit yesterday, and I didn't realize that it's not just art he does. He has serious social commentary on the status of how we as human beings treat not just each other, but interact with our government, or how our government interacts with us, how corporations perhaps are breaking down the boundaries between nationalism and individual rights. Anyways, very interesting, so I recommend Banksy. That's not really why, but I do want to read something. It was really a rather overwhelming experience to go. I didn't know what I was going to get. My husband got me tickets, or us tickets, for Christmas. But just to give you a sense of, these are some of the things that I think about with what you guys do. We have to survive through AI. We have to survive through this, these crises of needs of water, where we're having water shortages. We have an increased demand of electricity that's coming on with AI, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that we tend to look at the short-term pictures and what makes everybody feel happy, and don't address the real elephants in the room, which is, sure, we can all put solar on our roof, but if there's no electrical grid, we've got a problem. Anyways, I'm rambling on. Sorry about that. But life is a journey, and I just encourage you guys, hopefully, to look at the big picture stuff. You're here to help people, not just for everybody to make money, and I'm not opposed to making money, but it's a short-term gain when you have much more important things going on. Part of the reason I wasn't here a lot, I think you guys know my brother's house burnt down in January. My mother-in-law died 3 weeks later, and my father got very sick and passed away in November. So it's been a full year with all the other stuff we had going on. But really, it just brings to
30
mind
seconds.
what's important, and that is the people that we surround ourselves with and in our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. Vaughn Rios, followed by Barbary Wheeler. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. My name is Vaughn Rios. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for your time and for everyone in the room and watching. I've been a taxpayer here in La Mesa for nearly 20 years. I'm here to speak about the undeveloped city park located at the corner of Waite Drive and Murray Hill Road, listed on Google Maps as City of La Mesa Park at Waite Drive. If you drive by the place, you can clearly see it is not a park. On Google Maps, it says it is open from certain hour to certain hours, completely fenced off, nothing there. It's a dirt lot. It's been like that for 20 plus years since I've been a kid, since I've been here in La Mesa, over 30 years now. For several years now, there's been a sign posted indicating a park would be built there. Many of us in the neighborhood viewed that sign as a promise. Recently, I was told construction may be still 5 years away, which is frustrating after already waiting for so long. This part of La Mesa has not seen a new park built in over 20 years. At the same time, funds were allocated to tear down and rebuild Collier Park downtown, a park that was already functional. I'm not opposed to improvements around downtown, but the overall distribution of park funds does not feel equitable across all neighborhoods here, especially after hearing from the treasurer that the city has had 3 straight years of record-setting investments or earnings. In the area near Helix High School, we've seen significant growth. There's been noticeable increase of students, families, and young children. 2 new housing developments have been built in the neighborhood, yet neither includes a park or playground. Meanwhile, if you look at newer developments in North County and Chula Vista, where everything is booming right now, playgrounds and green spaces are often built right into the neighborhood, sometimes even every few blocks. We are seeing more strollers, more families, more babies. My younger brother has a 1-year-old, and myself, I just had a 2-week. I myself have a 2-week-old daughter. We want what families everywhere want: a safe, walkable park where our children can play and our community can gather. Parks are not a luxury; they're an essential infrastructure that support health, safety, and quality of life. When park projects are delayed year after year, families are effectively told to wait, even as we continue to pay taxes and invest in this city.
30 seconds.
I'm asking the City Council and the Parks and Recreation Department to prioritize the Waite Drive Park with real visible action. That could mean allocating funds sooner, accelerating planning, or at least providing clear timelines and accountability to the residents who have been waiting patiently. La Mesa prides itself on being a family-friendly city. I urge you to make sure that promise is applied to all neighborhoods, including ours.
Thank you
Thank you for your
com-
time and service.
Thank you. Barbie Wheeler.
Good evening. Glad to see you again. Okay, I'm here representing Bellflower Drive on the residents of Bellflower Drive. And I'm very encouraged by the agendas, even though they were tabled. I read them and I'm very encouraged about them, but I'd like to just speak in general now, as I have been in the past. I do appreciate the work you have done in keeping us informed about the process of stopping this drug house growing in our neighborhood. We received a letter from Councilmember Lothian which stated the following items. 1, the city of La Mesa does not have the authority to shut down Richard Evans' detox house. 2, the city has inspected the home several times. 3, the La Mesa Police Department patrols Bellflower and maintains a visual presence. Richard Evans and his hands-at-home alcohol and drug detox has been the subject of multiple public comments at city council member meetings, and these will continue. Knowing he is on the city's radar, Evans is either in the process of procuring a license, state license, or already has one. You don't know this, and whether he has one or not? Come on. We, the residents, have researched him and his house on our own and have come to you for help with this matter for more than 10 years. Why does it take over 10 years for the city to do something about this? I just heard about an area that needed a park. What's going on? More important to build big, high-rise apartment buildings? Because it is not on your street, because it does not affect your daily living, this is why it's not taken care of. It is on our street. It does affect our daily living. Our children and grandchildren cannot have freedom to play outside because of the fear of the druggies coming out of the drug house and harassing them or stealing from them, which has happened. I met a person who left that house. He is clean and sober, has a good job. And he said, Richard Evans runs an illegal sober living house. It is not run correctly. He says that all it is a flop house for druggies and crackheads. Evans' house is now for sale. We pray that it will be sold to a nice family. But that won't happen. We think Evans is up to something,
30
listing
seconds.
undervalue. He is trying to fool everyone. We have seen him, his realtors running down the street with people in there. They don't even go on the property. They turn around and leave. It's crazy. Shut him down. He needs to be stopped. He's playing a game with all of us, with you and us, okay? And he's a crook. He's no good. And we have asked and asked
Thank you for
and
your
asked.
comment. Your time is up.
Please, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the conflicts disclosures by anybody on council. All right. Boards and commission appointments. This is for the police oversight, and I have, these names will be my motion. Police Beat 1, Jeffrey McElwain. Guy, can I get? Police Beat 2, Beth Morgante. Police Beat 3, Clifton Eubank. Police Beat 4, Todd McCauley. And Advocate for Homelessness, Aaron Landau. That is my motion. Thank you.
Motion carries with all council members voting yes.
The next item on the agenda is a resolution appointing the member to fill the unscheduled vacancy on the Parks and Recreation Commission. I'll hand this over to the city clerk.
Honorable Mayor and Council, interviews for the vacancy on the Parks and Recreation Commission were conducted at the January 27th meeting. And this evening, you are being asked to appoint one member to fill the vacancy. Nomination forms have been placed before you, and the mayor and council members will indicate their nomination on the forms provided. Once completed, please pass the forms to me, and I will read each nomination aloud, and the process will continue until a nominee receives a majority vote of the council. Please refer to the yellow ballot, and there are 3 applicants, Jonathan Austin, Sherry Meek, and Jason Mullen, and you may select one nominee. Mayor Rapistathis has nominated Jonathan Austin. Councilmember Suzuki has nominated Jonathan Austin. Councilmember Lothian has nominated Jonathan Austin. And Councilmember Dillard has nominated Jonathan Austin. Jonathan Austin has received the majority nomination.
Thank you.
We do need a motion and
Make
a
a
vote.
motion to appoint Jonathan Austin.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion carries with all council members voting yes.
Thank you. Next is public comment on consent calendar. 10-3 Diana Osterling, 10-4 Diana Osterling, 10-6 Diana Osterling. Welcome.
Thanks. Again, I apologize, I'm not as prepared, but juggling things still. So, and these aren't all criticism, but these are, I like to pay attention to what's going on. Very few people have an opportunity to do that. So I try to when I can. On the sustainability, I just wanted to acknowledge, again, this was partly my Banksy experience, recognizing that sometimes we talk about things that we want to do, but what's really going on. So I would encourage thought going into the return on investment on sustainability issues. So when I say that, it might not be just a dollar investment, but how are we, if we're going to say everybody has to, ride their bikes to work, how's the practicality of that going to, if we're putting in lots of money into it, is that actually going to get a turnaround where you're going to have a lot of people stop taking a car, and they're going to ride their bikes instead? More of a bus idea might be more beneficial, just being realistic. I think part of the problem is we have a lot of ideals, and believe me, I'm a person of ideals, but when you get into it, there's only so much money, and they're running out at the state level, the county level. Luckily, we're doing well, but it's a shortage that we have going on, and so practicality needs to be a part of the decision-making process. I also, on environmental stuff, I would encourage supporting and looking at conservation issues more. For those of you who, I don't know if you remember, but when I was a kid, my parents bought our school clothes on a layaway because we didn't have credit. It just wasn't a thing. Now we don't anticipate, I think we undervalue the importance of not overspending or overusing. My point is conservation, putting in insulation and things like that is much cheaper and more effective than it is to have people, again, put solar on the roof, which we have. I'm just saying, like, I'm not opposed to these other things, but practicality, how is it going to help people? Looking at stormwater stuff. I went to a thing at San Diego State, and there was a brilliant scientist talking about one of the big issues we have with stormwater that's really going on is these concrete culverts, which seem to resolve issues, are actually flushing out water so fast, there's no place to absorb it. So
30 seconds.
Water that would go into our ground system is not regenerating our aquifers that can be used for plant life and drinkable water, et cetera, and it's going out to the ocean. Anyways, just looking at understanding how and why these things happen. And for the spring house, seems like a great opportunity to maybe teach kids about water, the whole water process, because it is, the spring house, my understanding, was an actual spring, and water from the mountains around us are feeding that
Thank you for
spring,
your
and that
comment.
goes
Your
into the
time is
sweet
up.
water reservoir. Thanks.
It was, yes. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve 10-1 through 10-11. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes. What item would you like?
Can I just pull 10.7?
10.7. So I'll make a motion to approve 10-1 through 10-6 and 10-8 through 10-11.
Second.
Thanks.
Motion carries with all council members voting yes.
Item 10.7. Councilmember Dillard.
Thank you. If I could just have the chief come forward. I was just reviewing this, and I realized that there's some significant changes between 2024 and 2025. And I just wanted to highlight them because I want to commend you on the amazing progress and ask you, how did that happen? You've got a total number of clients served in 24 at 57, and in 25, you have 137, which is a significant increase, more than double. And then also, and you can just answer me, I'll ask you, I'll just tell you what I'm getting at here. in the end, you have a total amount of people housed in '24 at 186. And in '25, you have a total house of 322. So what kind of magic is going on here?
I wish I could say there's some kind of instant magic pill, but there's not. We have great staff that do an incredible job, that have built amazing connections across the county. The reality is there's not a lot of room or a lot of places to put people, but they've found every nook and cranny to do it. The numbers, as you see, sometimes are repetitive customers. So it's people that have come back or that are still working on getting housing into services. But with Matthew Smiley leading that team and everything that we have with the housing coordinator right now is just, it's just been clicking. So, you know, the good thing is, yeah, we still see people out there on the streets, but the people that we're encountering that come here want to get help. They want to get services. And I equate that to, we don't have to use police resources now to go out and do that. So the cost savings that we're seeing there, to have a home team civilian response doing that instead of police officers has been quite a help.
And do you know where it's showing that we have total house, like all the way through not coming back? Is there a number there?
I don't have that in front of me,
Okay.
no, sorry.
Okay, it's all right.
I can get it for you.
Okay, yeah, phenomenal job. I commend Matthew Smiley and the team, and I'm just so happy to see this, and congratulations on the progress. It's awesome.
The City Collective, so thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I had, Mayor.
I'd like to
Yes.
jump on it now. So let me get this right. From 2023 to 2024, we went from 57 to 137 clients served. Clients served means homeless person, right? Okay. Don't we want that number to go down? Not up?
Yeah, that'd
Because
be
doesn't
great.
that mean like
Yeah.
that means 57 homeless people were on the streets in 2023, but our services are so awesome that now more have come, and now we have serviced 137. Don't we want to see it go from 137 to 57 to 4?
I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
If homelessness was going down like that, we'd probably see that.
I mean, what's it going to be next year, 500? I mean, that, we don't want to see that number grow.
I agree with you 100%.
There was an article, a profile
the-
was done in the UT
Sure.
where a homeless man was interviewed, and he said that he comes to La Mesa specifically because of how great of a treatment he gets here. So meaning that it becomes a magnet. So I'm feeling the opposite toward these numbers. I wish the numbers were going down instead of up.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I just?
Yes.
Okay, so the thing is that Matthew Smiley and his team is out there speaking to people. And the challenge is that you can speak to a person and they don't get the help or they don't take the help. And so you go to the next person, you go to the next person. And the fact that he's had enough years now of establishing himself and his team, that there's people that are agreeing to finally. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, and I think it's a fine balance, too, of looking at ensuring that those that are experiencing homelessness that want to get housed, yet there's also the other component of those that don't want to get housed
Yeah.
and are out committing crimes. So that's the balance between the police department and the home team that has been very well, taking the wrinkles out
Yes.
of being able to do that, to balance it, to make sure that, those that are chronic problems that don't want to get help, that may have drug or addiction issues, things like that, that we're getting them help in a different way. Where those that want to get help and get into a treatment program, if that's the case, can go through our home team, and they've been extremely successful with that.
And the reason why I'm commending the team is because I know what the struggle was in the very beginning, just getting anyone to trust them initially. When we had the police officers doing it, they were as nice as they could possibly be, and these people would not trust them. Would you agree?
I would. I mean, the reality is this is a barrier to getting people into housing. We understand that. And so we've come up with a program right now, our home program, to where that it removes that barrier, but it's still there when we need it.
Yes, and so that's why I see this as a plus. Ultimately, what Counselor Lothian has to say, we will get to that. I would like to see the numbers go down as well, but for the right reasons, not because no one's taking the help. And I think that that's making the difference when I weigh what we started with.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
One last question, just to make clear. So you're for reducing homelessness?
Absolutely.
Oh, me too. Good
Absolutely.
job. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry, would you like to make the motion on
I just
10-7?
have one
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so, sorry. Just to make sure I understand, so I see that the community support partnerships, there's a list in the attachment of the many people who work with it, as well as the community resource partnerships. Is that a list that has grown as the home program expands? So that means that there are more people touching people who are out there? Because before, I would think that as soon as a program starts, there are less volunteers and less people helping, and so you can't reach as many people. And so is this list one that grows, encompassing more people?
It does, and it also, we've had people in our city for years that have been trying to, go feed or do things differently, and now they can actually have a resource to provide that to, rather than doing it somewhere else.
Thank you.
Would you like to make the motion 10-7?
Yes, I'd like to make the motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, thank you. That's all we did. Just a consent calendar item.
Motion carries with all council members voting yes.
We did not solve homelessness. Okay. We're always open to suggestions if anyone has something. We're going to table 11-1 and 2, so we're at council committee reports. Councilmember Dillard, MTS.
I just wanted to give, I haven't given a report for some time on public safety when it comes to MTS. And I'd just like to report that the orange line, we always have the highest line of participation is the blue line, which runs from San Ysidro all the way up north. And they're at 488,259. The orange line is the third busiest with 105,185 trips. And I just want to remind people about the Pronto passes. Those are the most convenient to get instead of having to go through the process every time you want to get, take a ride. But I want to remind everyone that if you don't have a Pronto pass, if you get caught without it, you will get a ticket. There's no grace period. There used to be a grace period, but that's all changed. And I just want to remind people to please get their passes and, buy it for a month. You can do that. And I want to remind the public also that if you are a student and you're under 18, your passes, if you get a student pass, it's free. So we want to make sure that parents know that their children can ride for free if they're under 18 and they're a student. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Lothian?
I don't, but I do have a question. What if it's a high school dropout? Can they get a school Pronto pass?
I think they review those once a year, and they have to turn in information.
But if they're not a student and they're under 18, can they get one?
Not to my knowledge. They have to be students.
I have nothing.
This isn't the right spot for this, but would you mind talking about, because I wasn't at the groundbreaking, so I was ill, unfortunately. So would you take this time just to let everybody know what happened?
Absolutely. My total pleasure. We had a groundbreaking for the new La Mesa district sign. It was on Tuesday morning at, I think, 10 o'clock. And you would have thought it was a ribbon cutting because there were so many people there instead of just a shovel and the dirt. But we had the media there. Vice Mayor Cazares did a wonderful job telling the public and the news about the sign because you were absent, and so she did a great job covering for you. And everybody was excited. It felt like a street festival. And we're going to have a sign and within a couple, this summer, and going forward, downtown's going to have that outdoor dining patio, it's going to have that sign, it's going to have it's just going to be amazing. I'm not sure what else to add to that, except that it was well attended and everybody's very excited about the ribbon cutting.
Thank you. Just, I knew you were there, and so
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about it, so
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you.
for doing that, yes. Councilmember Suzuki, Public Safety, right? Oh, no, sorry, I forgot what yours is. Yes.
No, that's okay, no report.
What about the water? Did you go on a tour of the water place?
We will be going on a tour tomorrow, on Thursday, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And then I will give reports then.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No one traveled. City attorney remarks? All right, we're adjourned until the second meeting in February. Thank you.